I know really, really talented professionals who, in terms of like the virality of their content, are not the biggest that you'd find, including myself. But there is also varying levels of expertise and credentials for people who are trying to build platforms in the same space. And that is what is very interesting when you come across different professionals or at a conference like this, where you could be talking to somebody who is someone who has 30 years worth of real world experience in the field, and they have a channel or a platform that is a tenth of a size of someone who has been interested in finance for less than a year and found a piece of viral content or a few pieces of viral content, and now they have a gigantic audience that's listening to everything they have to say financially. And I do not hold any ill will, nor do I want them to not have followers, but all of these travels and meeting with people of varying levels of experience and expertise brought me to the idea of giving you just a few ways that I use to evaluate the quality of financial content that I am consuming, and also how I recommend other people do so when they ask me, what's your favorite blog? What's your favorite book? So I will put in the show notes some of my favorite resources, but it's not a recommendation of those resources. They are just examples of some of the qualities that I think are found in what I'm about to share. And we're going to start with, whenever I am looking at a new financial creator or someone else presents me a new financial creator, the first thing I want to know is, are they selling something? And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with someone selling something. Almost every person that I've had on the platform, including myself, when they're talking about growing their audience or giving you their recommendations, at the tail end of what they're doing, they're selling something. We at New Money, New Problems sell a service. We want people to be clients of our firm. It's not a matter of whether they're selling something, but if they're selling something, be it a course, be it a service, be it a product, be it a consultation, there are certain elements of how they present material that I'm looking for. The first thing I want to know is the promotion and the quality of their product or service based on outperformance? As an example, there is a big difference between someone like a Kevin Matthews, who is telling people, hey, here are ways that I use to evaluate my portfolio that I think can add value to you and make you more informed, and someone who is online saying, follow my investment and stock picking tips. For 10 out of the past 12 years, I beat the S&P by X%. And whether that person has or not, to me, when I see someone who bases their quality on outperformance, oftentimes you find that there's a lot of context missing to the performance metrics that they're sharing. And you also find yourself more likely to fall into the trap of someone who is presenting in a my way or the highway type of education style. And my way or the highway is dangerous because when you talk about real world experience in finances, you want somebody who has understood that something that worked for them may not work for everybody, or you want someone who has had the experience of seeing that something that they thought would work for them forever sometimes has its flaws as well. And when you market based on outperformance, you often find that those people are either lacking in terms of that experience or lacking in terms of that transparency in terms of what they're presenting. I also want, along those same lines, even in terms of the structure of their product or service, them to focus more on education versus outcome. I want someone, going down this same example, to teach you how to read a stock chart as compared to telling you that if you read it this way, you'll get a guaranteed 20% return. I want someone who is going to tell you, here's how I got into the real estate business, versus saying that this is the only way to buy a property or wholesale, and if you do it this way, you'll be financially free in 20 years. These are all things that lack context, they lack nuance, and you want someone who is teaching you a style, who is teaching you a thought process, who is just teaching you, as compared to having a line out somewhere in the sand saying, if you do it this way, here's what you can achieve. It's great to have testimonials. It's far different to present that testimonial as if it is the end objective, and I try to avoid that.